Well, here we are in Portland, Oregon, staying in the courtyard. Um, Finally get a night in a hotel. Um, I guess it's the third night on this trip, but it's kind of nice to have a bed and a place made for us. I love camping, but it's a good respite. Um, we had a great drive down from Olympic National Park. Um, we stayed at Kalaloch campground last night. Last site available, as I mentioned before. Um, but I packed up the camping gear and then left the kids and Leslie to clean up breakfast and finish packing up the rest of the remaining stuff and hopped on my bike and took the ride south along the 101. A lot of fun, some gorgeous views. And then it cut inland and it just started to get hot. When I left, it was cold. It was just overcast. But then as I cut inland, clouds broke and it really heated up. But as I shed layers, I was fine. Enjoyed the ride through the just misty trees and the green, lush Pacific Northwest. And it was fantastic. And then as I rounded Lake Quinault, it was a beautiful, beautiful lake. But shortly after passing Quinault, my back tire started to go a little low, and I kept riding through it, hoping that it was nothing. And then it got bumpier and bumpier, and I checked it, and it was a little low, but it was still doable. So I opted to continue to ride, and that was probably the mistake. And ended up with a flat and went to go repair my flat because I knew I had a new tube in my bag. Well, I pulled out the tube and it was a 16-inch tube, which does not fit a 700 tire. So I was without a tube and I didn't have a patch kit. So I figured, okay, I'll try and blow it up with the CO2. Well, I blew it up, and as fast as the air went in was practically as fast as it went out. So there was no go there. So I was not gonna be able to fix that flat. So frustrated, disappointed, called my wife. She was probably another 45 minutes behind me before she was gonna make it to me because they had spent some time at the ranger station and done some things. So I had to find a cool, shady place to rest. Luckily, there was a bend up above that had a grassy area, which is hard to find up here in the Northwest, by the way. Most of it's ferns and blackberry bushes. So, pulled off the side of the road, parked my bike, sat in the shade, got some work done, did a few things. Luckily, I had service there, so I wasn't completely bored or just playing Candy Crush the whole time. But then after she picked me up, hopped in, and we drove down, got to Aberdeen and debated whether to cut over to the I-5 just south of Olympia or to stay on the 101 all the way down through Astoria. We opted to stay on the 101, which was a good decision. Took us longer to get here to Portland, but it was beautiful. It was well worth the out-of-the-way drive. We drove through South Bend, Washington, had to stop and get oysters in the oyster capital of the world. Check my Instagram. They were delicious. So good. They had probably five or six different renditions of oysters on how they topped them and presented them. It was really good. And then we continued to drive south, checked out some of the Lewis and Clark sites, crossed the massive bridge over to Astoria, across the Columbia, and then decided that we'd go all the way down to Cannon Beach. We were close enough. We were going to go through Seaside anyways, so why not go to Cannon Beach? So we stopped in Seaside, got some gelato, drove around the downtown there a little bit. And unfortunately, it was cloudy and cool, so we didn't get out, but looks like a really fun, beautiful beach to play at. And And then we drove south to Cannon Beach, and we did get out there. Um, really enjoyed the beach there with haystack rock, and got some pictures and played in the water just a little bit. It was a little warmer than it had been up north, um, but didn't spend too much time there. Grabbed some pizza by the slice and hopped in the car and headed over to Portland. Um, Drove straight through to Portland, got here to the hotel, checked in, swam a little bit, hung out in the hot tub, and now it's time to hit the sack and have another fun and exciting day tomorrow.